All right, so I want to reiterate today something I've said a bunch of times, guys, and that's if you ask my permission to ask me a question, I will fucking ignore you. It's a silly, childish thing, and it's not a respect thing for me. It's an aggravated. It's like a a redundant question. You're already asking me a question by asking my permission to ask a question, so I'm not gonna fucking answer you. Just ask whatever you're gonna ask, and I'll answer you. Especially if I've already got history talking to you, man. You don't need to ask me again to ask me something that's a little ridiculous. All right. So anyway, I've done I think like 3 different video attempts on shipping an engine or whatnot, and I don't even really think I follow the way I was doing it anymore. So I was showing it there. So I figured I would do it one more time with Justin's B20. I'm about to wrap up here. And it's really simple. Found out the easiest path to go about is this. Make sure the crank is situated as this, which means all the pistons are usually going to be a half cylinder like this, and so that way it's flush. You don't have anything that would rock the engine. The best thing is to have the engine as flat as possible. All right, so I'm not going to put the windage tray on it, the oil baffle, because that'll of course make it like a turtle shell and will rock a lot. So it's going to be wrapped up in plastic in this, and I'll put it on the side. Also, all you really need to do for the engine to ship it is wrap it up in this. The box and everything else that's going to go in it is going to be the protection. Now, here's my big issue. Now, I'm not making any custom-made cardboard boxes, so I have to go either use whatever FedEx got and they tax like a motherfucker on their boxes, or go to Home Depot. Now, the problem is that this engine block easily fits in a medium-sized box if that crank is not installed. It's like literally the medium-sized box the Home Depot has is a direct drop-in for the short block. And of course, you want the package to be tighter, because the tighter the box is, the less movement you have inside the box, and the less chances that the box is going to fall apart in transit. So if you're shipping a bare block, as long as you take off all the brackets and shit and set it in there, it's a perfect fit. Shipping it with the crankshaft, that means you got to go a size up, and the only size up is a large. And the larges that you find at Home Depot are 18 by 18 by 24, and they're entirely too big. They're fine for the block with the crank, but they're really tall and they're really wide, so you have a lot of wiggle in there. I guess the only good thing about that would be, like, if you do want to send a complete block, like you want to include the brackets and stuff, you can take those off and throw them in there into empty space, and you'll have that. As far as being too loose and worried about it wiggling around a lot in transit, well, I don't really think that's too much of an issue you got to worry about, because even if you ship it bare, like, people are going to consider it like a heavy fucking package. So you're not going to have some fat dude in a brown uniform throwing your shit around, because most likely, it's not going to be easy for him to do. So most likely what's going to happen is that in between transport, it's either going to be on a pallet and a forklift, or somebody's going to have a dolly. So that's why I'm not too worried about having like a whole bunch of extra bubble wrap or whatnot on it. Now, when you what I've been doing is, like, you get the box. I take the box with me, but I'm gonna leave the engine out of the box until I get there, because it's just, for practicality's sake, it's a lot easier to carry it. And if you try to carry it while it's in the box, not only is it gonna be super awkward because you have a lot of empty space in there, but it's gonna be heavy, and you could tear out the bottom of the box trying to do this. So what I've been doing is taping up the bottom of it and then going inside the FedEx with it, weighing this shit separate, and then put it in the box and tape it up. And because of that empty space you have, they're gonna take a lot of that filler paper, because when they go to put the lid on to tape up the lid, it can't sink. It has to be something firm. So you're gonna get your fluff from there. So, and peanuts or that popcorn shit, the styrofoam stuff is kind of fucking expensive to buy. So they just use whatever paper packaging they have there. It'll fill in the empty spaces really quick and really easy. So I guess that's pretty much it for the rundown. So I'm just going to wrap it up copiously in this and make sure there's nothing exposed, nothing that can drip or leak, and then take it like that, have them weighed, and then drop it in the box and let them take it from there. It's pretty simple, straightforward. I will say that FedEx so far has been kind of pricey. Like, they've been charging me like a fucking fuck ton of money on everything I ship. It seems like no matter what I'm shipping, the weight, it comes out to be $100, even for the lighter packages. Like, I took a head I sold to FedEx because it was a weekend and I wanted to get it shipped ASAP. Faster shipping, faster to receive the money. So like, for the same weight package going through the USPS, the post office would have you know, maybe like been like 70-80 bucks, but going through FedEx it cost me 100 and change. So just I guess shop around, call and get quotes or whatnot. Generally speaking, as much as I hate the fact of how much they're charging me, I've been sticking with FedEx just because of the fact that I can ship on the weekend. There's a 24-hour shipping center close by. I was actually supposed to finish wrapping this up and send it last night, but you know, just sleep and shit got involved. I was tired as fuck. I had to leave work a little early to pick up my kids, and then I wound up start running errands back and forth, and looking at a car, and then, you know, waiting for my wife to get out of work, going out to get something to eat. By the time we got back from doing all that shit, I just fucking knocked out. So, alright, yeah, I'm gonna get to doing this, and hopefully I can find the next engine to build, or somebody else to buy an engine. Still got the B20. I think I'm gonna make another one. Like I said the other day, I was thinking about making another one of these for me, with forged rods, and maybe doing boost. But I don't know. I got a reveal to coming later on tonight, and I'm gonna talk about my next personal build. And also, after I drop this off at FedEx, I am going to the storage to try and rearrange all that shit that I have stuffed in there and dig out my swap, so I can hopefully see about getting everything back in the Integra. Alright guys, stay posted. Oh, yeah, another thing is too, a lot of people have been asking me recently about emails. I do have an email, of course, everybody has a fucking email, but if I were to give it to you and you were to check, you know, and send me an email, I would fucking take forever to see it. I don't download no email app. I don't want notifications for the millions of junk emails I get. So, I don't deal with emails. I have like 5 fucking social media sites, I guess, you know, the Facebook, Instagram, fucking Twitter, Snapchat, you know, like YouTube DMs, even though I don't check those that often either because there's no notifications. But there's plenty of ways to get a hold of me, guys. If you cannot fucking do the social media thing because you're a dinosaur and you don't want to get with the new program, I'm sorry. You just have to leave a comment. We're gonna have to talk through the comments. I'm not gonna give you anything else because it's gonna be a pain in the ass for me to check a whole bunch of different things when I have already so many options with notifications. All right, guys. Peace.